Hey guys, welcome to the new Living Amends Academy. It's part of my 9-step training program. It is the group that I have decided we're going to build because we want to not only change, we want people to see that we've changed, but we want to inspire other people to change. And that's the goal of the group, right? This is going to be the first of what's going to be a regular Thursday at 4:30 session. We'll be talking about a variety of topics. I might bring on some guests, but each week we will be focusing on different aspects of ways to make living amends. In addition to that, we'll be talking about some nutrition and fitness tips because this is, after all, a health and fitness group. So we want to make sure that we're teaching ourselves how to be healthy, fit, and well, at the same time being the example of the best ways to make living amends. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to start today with some nutritional fun facts. All right, so here we go. Nutrition fun facts. All right, the first one we're going to talk about here. The ideal number of times to pee each day is 10. Why is that important? Well, you want to think of not consuming a ton of water as your main goal. You want to think of fluid balance. Fluid balance is not only just about hydration, but it's also making sure that your electrolytes are in balance. You don't want to be dehydrated. And if you drink too much water, you end up actually peeing out all of your electrolytes. Electrolytes are what keeps the fluid stored within your body. So if you're going too much, not only are you disrupting your day, but you're actually doing a little bit of damage to your body. So, peeing every, 90 minutes to 2 hours is good. But 10 times during the day, obviously we're thinking of that, 16-hour period while you're awake. Trying not to overdo it at night because we don't want to disrupt sleep. Getting up to pee, it happens to all of us, but we don't want it to be a regular habit. We should be able to sleep through the night, and having too much fluids beforehand is really going to make it hard for your body to settle in. So think, how many times am I peeing a day? I want it to be around 10. That's a good goal. The next one, 70% of your calories burned come from your BMR, and that's your basal metabolic rate. All right. 70% of your calories that you burn for each day are done while you're just sitting still, breathing. All right. The other 30% come from your exercise, which is only about 5%. All right. The other 10 to 15%, all right, comes from your TDEE, which is your total daily your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, right? So basically any movement that you're doing that's not specifically exercise, so unintentional movement, right? Anytime that you're fidgeting, tapping your toes, all of that stuff, that's considered NEAT. Washing the dishes, that's NEAT. Going to the bathroom, that's considered NEAT. All of that stuff goes into that factor. So NEAT, and then you have EAT, which is the exercise part that I was just talking about. All right. And the other part of it, I can't remember. I'm embarrassed by that. Okay. So basal metabolic rate, which means that you want to make sure that you're recovering, right? So if you're burning too many calories while you're just sitting still, that means you're in that heightened stress phase, right? You're just stressed and your body's burning too many calories. Keep in mind that how many calories your brain uses to not only function throughout the day, but to think and all those other things throughout the day. You need to keep those things in mind as you're working on losing weight and getting healthy. Your basal metabolic rate, recovery is important. Your exercise is a great way to increase your basal metabolic rate. So the more muscle you put on, the more calories you're going to be burning at rest, okay? That's how we increase our metabolism. That's how we start to feel better. The more muscle we have, the healthier we are. Those are all great things. All right. And the last one here is toned. All right. This is a fancy way of describing visible muscle definition. Okay. If you lose all of this weight and you think that that's going to make you toned, unless you have muscle, it's not. All right. You need to build muscle to show your muscle. So keep that in mind as you're lifting weights. Those wimpy, and I'm going to say it, wimpy 5 to 8 pound weights are doing nothing for you. You need to start bulking up and getting stronger. All right. Be right back. One of the joys of having a puppy and being live while having some puppy. Okay, so those are our 3 tips here. All right. 1, toned means nothing. It means working out, it means getting some muscle on your body. Okay. In order to do that, you got to lift heavy weights. When you do that, when you put on the muscle, you're going to increase your BMR. You're going to burn more calories while you're just sitting still. Hugely and mostly, that's what you want to do. You want to be putting on muscle so you burn more calories when you're not doing anything. Don't flood your body. The ideal number of times to go to the bathroom is 10. Remember that fluids in your body retain all of those micronutrients, right? All the vitamins and minerals are retained in your body water. If you're flushing all of that out, you're flushing all of the vitamins and minerals out too, and you're actually depleting your body if you're too hydrated and peeing too much. All right, I hope those things were helpful for you. Don't worry, I'll be editing the previous parts out of the video. All right, so now what we're going to talk about is the main crux of things, right? This group, Living Amends Academy. How do we make living amends? How do we be the example for other people? Because that's the real important part of things, right? It's not saying and showing off. It's being an example of what a person who has changed is going to be. If you're following this page, all right, most likely is because you want to make some changes. You want to get healthier, you want to get fitter, you want to lose some weight, all of those things. Why do you want to do that? Is it so that you can show off, or is it because you want to feel better? To make changes, you need to keep in mind that it's a mental process, okay? And there's a lot of ways that we can do that. Living amends, showing that we're changing, showing that we've changed, all right? And the best ways to go about doing that isn't to go in and bolster about it, right? So, for example, a lot of people think that an amends means saying, I'm sorry. Those are words. Words tend to lose their meaning when they get said a million times, all right? Change happens because people can see it. So living amends means taking action to show that you have changed. So we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can do that today. There's hundreds and hundreds of ways that you can do that, all right? But we're going to start here with the 3 that are going to be the easiest ones to do. First and foremost, actually, this first one may not be easy for so many people. Be quiet, okay? Listen more. Seek short periods of solitude. Short periods, 5 minutes. Go grab a cup of coffee, go sit in a quiet room for 5 minutes, and just breathe. That's being quiet, okay? Curb your ego. You do not know all of the answers. I don't know all of the answers, okay? People that make a ton of noise, whether it be talking too much, yelling about certain things, they have no humility, all right? Being quiet equals humility. It says that you understand that you don't know everything and you're okay with it. You're going to be the person who listens, who doesn't respond to somebody else, or excuse me, doesn't react to somebody else. You respond, you listen, you empathize. Those are the things that are going to be super important for other people. Okay. They're going to be the things that say people go, you're doing good. I've noticed you're not as much of a loudmouth anymore. I noticed that you aren't, saying how great you are. I've noticed that you don't have a comeback story for every single story that goes on. Be quiet. Number 2, you need to be an example. That's a good place to start of being a living amends, is being an example. Being an example of a high quality person who has changed because they want to do good. All right. That means helping without being asked. And that's anything from holding a door from somebody, serving in a soup kitchen, or just, you see that your significant other is preparing dinner and maybe you should set the table. Or this means that, you notice somebody's dropped something or having a bad day or having a rough go. And you're just going to go over and help them with whatever they may need. You just do it without being asked, without being told. And the next one is do TNRT. That means do the next right thing, even when no one's going to know. Put down the ego, all right, and accept the fact that to be a changed person means you're not going to get recognition for every little thing that you do, right? You're going to have to be the example of somebody who's just knows that they're doing the next right thing. And inside and with God, they have now realized that you're doing good, that you're okay, that you're good. All right. You don't need people to recognize it all the time. If you're quiet and you're an example, people will notice and somebody will say something. And when you do, take it in, feel good about it, say thank you. And that leads to number 3, smile. Smiling naturally diffuses bad situations. Right now, I'm not saying if you're getting mugged, you should smile back at the mugger. You might get stabbed doing that. I'm talking about situations that come up where, somebody's in a bad mood, or you're walking into a situation where tensions are high at work and at home. Again, not in serious situations. Obviously, you should do something about that. But smiling automatically releases those feel-good hormones, right? Your dopamine, your endorphins. It helps you to start feeling better. It helps you to start feeling as though everything's going to be okay, even if right now it's not, okay? If you were someone like me, all right, 10 years ago, if a situation had the potential to be bad, I assumed automatically that it was going to be bad. I didn't smile. I certainly was an example of someone trying to calm the situation down. And I had a big fat mouth and I ran it and I was loud and I was belligerent and nothing had even happened yet. I just automatically assumed it and my anxiety and whatnot took over. And so as a result, I was not making living amends. I was not an easy person to be around. I get compliments every once in a while, at least they compliment my wife, and not necessarily me, about how calm I am. I don't necessarily feel that I am, but people notice it. And Kim, my wife, often says he wasn't always that way, but people notice it and it makes me feel good, but it doesn't make me want to go run in and yell, thank you to everybody, thank you, and be cocky. It makes me know that I am on the right track. Okay. Be humble. Be quiet. Be the example of what a live of change. All right. We live in a really, really loud, narcissistic, self-centered world. Be the example of somebody who's empathetic towards everybody else, who's just saying, I know I've got changes to make, so I'm going to start making them by being patient and humble with other people. And lastly, smile. All right. We're in the process of change. We have seen that there are things that are unacceptable to us, that are our personal things. And we're now going about making those changes. You should be patting yourself on the back because there's not a lot of people who would do that, but you do. You are now willing to say, I'm in a good spot and I'm going to make those changes. Be happy about that. Smile and let people know that you want to be a different person, that you're in the process of changing. So I hope that this was a helpful series of topics for you. We are all going to be living amends. We are all going to be changes, slowly but surely. And if you're not sure where to start, do the humble thing and ask for help. I hope that you all have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, And I will check in with you all next week. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.